Hi, welcome to the award-winning Ed Brown Show. And once again, exciting. We have two parts here, and we have my co-host here, Mrs. Larkin. She's Edwanda. She's going to be in on some of this questioning too. And then we have Sandy Vaughn. I mean, the Vaughns have a terrific history in Prince George's County. I've known his dad for a while, I tell you. But anyway, his daddy is steering him the right way. Get involved in the county. Get involved in the community. Right now, he's working with the county with the communities. That's a coincidence. Your daddy trained you well.
Well, I like to think so, Mr. Brown.
Just give us some information about your how you got involved. I know how you got involved, because Sylvester. I know how your daddy is. He slapped you upside and said, "Boy, you gonna get out here and do something."
Exactly. So you ain't far from the mark how I got started. You know, you been living in the house there. You know, politics was all around in the house there. I got started at a young age. My father was out dealing with the NAACP, the model city, making sure.
Well, he built that.
You know, making sure that the community, every day everybody was on a plan, equal playing level field. And that's what he believed about with education, because all of his kids were in the school system at that time. And he felt that his kids should have just as the best, just like the other kids anywhere else. And he fought for that. And that's where I got that from.
Job. And he's still fighting for it. He's on the Park and Planning.
Exactly.
He's on the planning board.
The
now.
vice chair of the planning board.
Vice chairman of the planning board. That was my job.
See, there's some connection there. See?
Some connection there, you know.
Exactly.
Was it birds of a feather
flock together?
Flock together, you know. Yeah.
Right.
So with that background, you decided you wanted to get. How did you get involved with the community and the county exec, Jack Johnson?
Well, I was working with Mr. Johnson on his campaign, and before I started working with the county, I was working in Montgomery County, and they was trying to woo me over. I was working with kids, at-risk kids, as a case manager, social work, and they tried to woo me over, but I couldn't. My kids would not let me go. My kids said, "No, you can't go. You can go do the parades for Mr. Johnson, but you can't go. We gonna need you here, Mr. Sandy. You can't go." So. Opportunity came up again, I didn't go. As my kids start moving out of the program, I said, well, I'm not gonna get attached to no more kids.
Well, that was grandpop's influence. You know that.
I tell you.
Absolutely.
You know, so, and working with at-risk kids in Montgomery County at the National Center for Children and Family. Eventually, all the ones that I've been working with over a period of time had started filtering themselves out the system. At that time, it was a break for me to go and come work for the county. Mr. Johnson allowed me to come work for the county, and I was working as a livable community liaison. We're making sure what I do when people call in complaints about the different agencies.
You get plenty of that.
Oh, we do.
You stay busy.
We do. And we jump right on and try to making sure we try to remedy the problem for the counties that, and we don't like problems hanging out too long. I know I don't. So if you call and they tell you, speak to Sandy Vaughn, you're going to get me one way or another, because one thing I tell people, if you call and you leave me a message, there's a cell phone number on there. I don't give it to you, but if it's really that much urgent to you, you'll call, leave a message, and you'll get how you can get in touch with me. But I do sometimes give out my cell phone number to anybody. But that's one way I know that you're serious about your problem and your issue.
Absolutely, and I can attest to that, because I had to call his cell phone number, and he did get back with me. Now, Mr. Vaughns, you grew up in this county, correct?
I'm a lifelong resident of Prince George's County.
That's right.
Okay.
I grew up in Prince George's County, right there in Palmer Park, and right there in the Landover area. Grew up, went to Matthew Henson Elementary, Kenmore, and then on off to Parkdale. So all my schooling was done here in Prince George's County.
Great, fantastic.
Yes.
Okay, I don't want to see you get beat up when you get home. Your brothers and sisters, mention them.
Oh, my brother, he recently retired from the FBI as an agent down there in North Carolina. My sister, she's working in the District of Columbia with work at Will program, putting
what's her name?
Olivia Vaughns. She's back there. She's back there working with people, putting them back to work, welfare to work program. My other system is in South Carolina. Now they're working with the mentally challenged down there. So we all.
Well, your daddy did a good job,
Yeah.
man. He got,
And his mom.
right.
And
Dad
his
and mom.
mom.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
want
Yeah, Mom was an early childhood development teacher, and she was like one of the first licensed daycare in Prince George's County. When she was the one that when they started making people do the license, she was one to help put that together, the license program, you know, for early childhood development and daycare. So those type of things, you know, giving back to the community.
Right. That's the theme of this program, is giving back.
And I tell you,
You
that's
have
what
to do that.
We have to if we want our community to continue to grow. You know, when we started this thing in the Johnson administration, talk about livable community.
Yeah.
Livable community that's what it's about. People have to give back to the community.
Yes.
And we
No
just
doubt
can't-
about it.
We can't just be self-serving.
Right.
We have to serve, if you're going to serve the people, serve the people.
That's it.
Absolutely.
And I give back all the time. I'm a volunteer firefighter for Chapel Oaks Volunteer Fire
Great.
Company.
Wow.
Great.
Here, the only black fire company in the state of Maryland on the East Coast. So Chapel Oaks, I'm out there on that engine. We get that engine out.
Fantastic.
With those are the type of things. I'm on the board of Parks and Recs here in Prince George's County, making sure that when people come, we hear the complaints about Parks and Recs, and we sit there and we pass on our advice and what people tell us onto the council people when it's time for budgetary decisions. We pass on things. This is what people say they want. This is what they want in their parks. They want this type of park, and we have one of the best parks in the nation.
We got plenty of medals, the gold medals.
Exactly, we do.
People don't understand the Park and Planning is one of the #1 agency in the country.
Exactly. Our parks are #1.
Right.
And people come there to look at our parks. And, we have nice parks, and we like to keep them that way. You know, we want people to use our parks, too. And, you know, so those are the type of things I'm doing. Also, Mason, Prince Hall Freemason, with Toles Thatcher, number 15. So those are the things, you know, you give back to the community, you know.
Right. That's it. Now, okay, tell us something. You want to take a step up now. Tell us about this position that you're thinking about and you're working on, you know, getting involved in.
Well, I think you must be talking about that thing called that school board.
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about. Yes.
I know it was something like that.
Oh, yes. I'm looking to be on the school board. There's a new district. They just redistricted school board districts, and they put back 9 districts back in the slotted 9 district. And District 4 is a new district they just slotted. Where
what is the boundaries of District 4?
District 4 is Cheverly, Landover, Colmar Manor, coming back up towards Lanham, then coming through Glen Arden, and back down through Landover. Fairmont Heights, Chapel Oaks, those areas like that. Bladensburg. So I have a pretty big area. I go up like the 190 up to Glendale, where old Glendale Hospital is.
Right.
Oh, okay.
You know, that has nothing to do with your daddy. Has something to do with it. It was that Glendale Hospital. That's a valuable piece of property, and I'm just wondering, what are we going to do with that? You know what I mean? Well, I'm going to ask Tim that.
Yeah, you ask him that.
but you tell him that I'll be hunting him down on that.
Okay, I
Glendale.
definitely will let him know.
But anyway, tell us some of the things that you propose that you feel that they need in your district.
Well, my 4 goals are to continue to increase testing scores, getting parental involvement, safety in the schools, and vocational ed. We talk about to increase the test scores. We're like second to the bottom. We're going to move up. I want people to be able to say when they come to Prince George's County, they move to Prince George's County for the school system. We want to be the best school system. That's what I'm gaining for. We have the best school system in the state of Maryland. You know, we know the crime is going down, the aesthetics of the county is beautiful, but we lack in one thing, and that's the education. We can't bring big businesses to this county if you don't have a good education. If I own a Fortune 500 company and my kids are school-age kids, where are they going to go to school at? They look at schools, and schools are important. We got to make sure our school system is important and make sure we have the best for our school system. That's why I got to keep making sure our test scores go up. Continue to making sure that parental involvement. People say, how are you going to get the people involved? That's one thing we've been trying to do. As a community liaison, I'm at civic association meetings all the time. People come to civic association meetings, so if we had to combine it somewhere or another, bringing civic association and the PTAs together,
Yes.
we would do that. But there's a way we could do it, and I've seen it happen, and I know we can do it. People do want to get involved. People want to know what's going on in the school system. I have a problem when the school system shut down schools in districts, and the citizens don't know they're shutting them down. You know, they didn't have a voice to it. And then somebody said, well, they could have came down to Upper Marlboro. Well, some folks might couldn't get to Upper Marlboro at night. I think the school board should have came to the civic association meeting. Should have came to the community. And that's me. I'm a person, I'll go out to you. If you don't come to me, I'll come to you, and I'm going to bring you
Well, that's
info.
one thing, too, as far as the education system is going anywhere, is participation of parents. Parents have to realize the school board, the county exec, the governor, the president, they're not responsible for raising your child. You have to get involved. The parents have to get involved. When I say get involved, they have that child 4 or 5 years before they even go to school or anything. So they have to set those things, behavior and all those things, into their child. Plus the fact after their child gets home, they're with the parents again another 4 or 5 hours. So actually, the parent really has to get involved and stop blaming the system. There's nothing wrong with the system. It's the children in the system have not, the parents are not doing their job at home. And with that, I want to. I'm going to.
Absolutely.
But give us some closing remarks there on there. She's professional.
Achieving, and I think what Mr. Vaughn was talking about, achieving excellence here in Prince George's County, and I think that we will be able to do it if, like he said, if we get the parental involvement.
Right.
Even the churches. Have you guys reached out to the churches to pull them in to help to solve some of these problems in Prince George's County?
Well, that's one of my things. We are going to bring in the churches. As an elder in the Church of God in Christ, I know church is very important.
Yes.
And I know what we have to do. The churches they'll play a major part in anything. Even dealing with civic associations, we have brought in churches to do things like that. So the church plays a major part in the community, and it always has been a major part in our community, especially the African American community. The churches play a major part, and we might have to go back to that.
Well, actually, that's the thing. We have to wrap this up now, but actually, that's very, very important.
Vital, yeah.
And I'm so happy to give the exposure of the young people like you, and then on the second half, another young person is getting involved in Prince George's County development. And this is what we need to do. We need to reach back like your dad did. He actually worked with you as a parent, and he prepared you and your children. And this is what we have to do. This is an excellent example of young Prince George's getting involved. Okay, got another young lady here that's going to tell you about what she wants to do. See you in a minute. Hi, welcome back to the award-winning Ed Brown Show. And once again, a young lady here in Prince George's County from Suitland, Maryland. And I mean, this is Miss Karen Toles. I mean, she is another example of the fine young people that we have here in gorgeous Prince George's.
Right.
Karen,
Yes,
welcome
sir.
to the Ed Brown Show.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, this
Glad
is
to be here.
fantastic. From Suitland, Maryland.
Yes, sir.
Another
Yes.
Prince George's. Tell us about it. Give us your background.
Yes, okay. Well, I was raised in Prince George's County. I grew up in Suitland, Maryland, and I also live in Suitland, Maryland. I'm blessed to have the opportunity to purchase the home I grew up in. Not a lot of young people get to do that, and so that is a blessing.
Great.
Yes, a lot of work, but it's a blessing to be able to be a part of the community that I was a part of as a child, and many of the residents still live there, know who I am, and support me and what I want to do for Prince George's. And was educated in the public school system. I'm also a graduate of the University of Maryland, College Park, and I'm completing a master's in public administration. So
Congratulations.
thank you so much. Thank you.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
I tell you. Tell us, presently, what is your position?